I'd like to invite now Gordon England and Al Romig and Julia Phillips and Jay Treese Jackson up here for the induction ceremony. So now where do we all stand?
You stand.
Chairs or anything?
No, you just go stand over there. Well, good morning, everyone. As Dan said, my name is Al Romick. I think many of you by now have gotten to know me. But I wanted to start out with just a few comments before we start passing out the actual certificates of induction and membership. But as you know, we are all extremely proud of our new members. We're also proud of our long-serving members. If you look at the back of the gray induction book, you will find the name of people who are celebrating a significant membership anniversary. When I read your name, please stand and wave to the audience and then remain standing. I'd like to have the audience hold your applause until they are all standing, and then we congratulate them as a group. So, celebrating 35 years, Jan D. Achenbach. Celebrating 35 years, William R. Showalter. Celebrating 30 years, Byron Tapley. Celebrating 25 years, John Anderson, Lance Davis, Elin Draper, Henry Hatch, Johanna Levelt Seniors, Robert Liebeck, William Morgan, Venki Naranamurti, Shalomo Newman, and Maxine Savitz. Thank you and congratulations to all of our anniversary members. As Dan and Gordon both mentioned, this really is a terrific occasion. We are here to celebrate and acknowledge excellence in engineering. In this year's class has made in areas of research, innovation, manufacturing, education, the creation of novel technologies, and in designing solutions to real-world problems. I think you know how competitive the process is. Dan alluded to that. From personal experience, prior to assuming this job, I served as chair of the Committee on Membership, and so I know how talented these classes are. As executive officer, I have the opportunity to review this year's class, and I will tell you, you are all still as distinguished as ever. By the way, if you'd like to leave a gratuity of thanks for this year's election chair, Evelyn Hu, I'm sure she would be more than happy to split it with the Academy. When you come to the stage, one of the things you will receive is one of these blue rosettes. They've been given to newly elected NAE members and foreign members since the late 1970s. I thought I would share with you a bit of the history of these blue rosettes. Dan cited our history going back to the National Academy of Sciences in 1863 as an organization that is meant to use the talents of the nation's preeminent scientists, engineers, and health professionals. An identifying emblem had to be created to honor those individuals, and it was copied from the French. The story is as follows. The NAE rosette is based on the design of the French Legion of Honor medal established to honor military service in France. It was inappropriate to be the model for us, given that the roots of engineering in the U.S. can be traced back to the influence of the French military engineers in the late 18th and early 19th century. In fact, West Point, founded in 1802, was done so and built on the model of French engineering, which later evolved into civil engineering. Well, you might wonder why the French Legion of Honor. It was created by Napoleon in 1802, the same year as West Point, and was meant to honor service to the French military. As an interesting sidebar, I would note that the U.S. Department of Defense is still one of the major users of the talents of the national academies. So perhaps it's not misplaced at all. Also, the rosette has grown over time to be emblematic of the membership in any select group, and you certainly are a select group. Now to the official induction of our new members and foreign members. For all of those of you who attend this meeting, You know we make great efforts to introduce people properly by pronouncing their names. And I will tell you that between I or my assistant Patrice, speaking to you personally, to an assistant, a family member, listening to voicemail, in some case talking to another member that perhaps has the same country of origin as you did, we got to almost everybody. And I'm going to try my very best, despite my American accent, to do that. But there are two of you that almost got introduced by your phone number because I couldn't reach a real person who actually knew your name. But the problem with that is that we now have so many phone numbers you probably wouldn't recognize that either. So I'm just going to try with the name. What I'm going to do is read the name, the affiliation, and the election citation, first for the new members and then for the new foreign members. You'll each come to the stage and receive your rosette and your diploma. When you are finished, for those of you who are members, Julie Phillips, over at the table, our Home Secretary, will ask you to sign the membership rolls. When we reach the foreign members, Ruth David, our Foreign Secretary, will come forward and will do the same thing for the foreign members. Please do not forget to sign. That occasionally happens when we have to lasso you and cart you back up into the stage to sign the rolls. Our staff will make sure that people line up in alphabetical order, so keep your name badge on when you get over to the side for the lineup. But before you come to the stage, remember to remove your badge because it will glare in the photograph. You'll come up the stairs to my left, come across to Gordon and to Dan, receive your photograph and your certificate of membership. And then we don't know where these photos might end up. Some of them reported to end up in post offices, and you know what that actually means. From there, move over to Julia and or Ruth, and you'll be asked to sign the book, and we'll go from there. Only those who will attend will be introduced. There are a few people who we knew couldn't come, and we won't do an introduction verbally here in the stage. Of course, there's always the possibility that individuals will have had travel difficulty getting here due to weather, airline misconnects, or whatever it is, and we'll deal with those on an as-come basis. Again, I'd like to have you, if possible, hold your applause until we're done, and then we can all congratulate the entire class. And one word to the new members: when you receive your diploma inside, there is a plastic protective cover that's been put behind the certificate so that it won't glare in the photograph. But once you're off the stage, you may want to put the plastic on top of the certificate in order to protect it and make sure that it doesn't get smudged or dirty or whatever. So, here we go. Michaela, my screen went dark. Michaela, how do we get the screen on? Very good. All right. The class of 2017 induction ceremony. Here we go. David T. Allen, Melvin Hertz, Regents Chair of Chemical Engineering, the McKetta Department of Chemical Engineering, the University of Texas at Austin, for contributions to improving air quality and for developments in sustainable engineering education and practice. Ellen M. Aruda, Professor, Mechanical Engineering, University of Michigan, for pioneering research in polymer and tissue mechanics and their application in innovative commercial products. Aziz I. Asfahani, Chief Executive Officer, Questech Innovations, LLC, for executive leadership in STEM education, integrated computer design and materials, and the invention and production of corrosion-resistant alloys. David V. Boger, Emeritus Laureate Professor, University of Melbourne, for discoveries and fundamental research on the elastic and particulate fluids and their application to waste minimization in the minerals industry. Arindam Bose, Consultant, Sole Organizer, Biotechnology, a Biologics B, LLC, for innovations in the manufacture of biologics and service to the professional society organizations that represent the biopharmaceutical industry. Bamul K. Bose, Consultant and Emeritus Chair Professor, Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, for contributions to advancing power electronics technology and the power conversion in education. Thomas P. Bostic, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, retired, for development of new approaches to hurricane protection and for leadership of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Ross W. Boulanger, Professor, Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, University of California, Davis, for contributions to geotechnical earthquake engineering and the development of procedures for evaluating seismic behavior of soil structure systems. Robert J. Budnitz, Staff Scientist, retired, Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, for advancement of seismic probabilistic risk assessments and their application to nuclear power facilities. Cleopatra Cabos, Vice President of Engineering, Honeywell Industrial Safety, for contributions to sensors, microelectromechanical technologies, and the development of industrial and safety products. Erbrand Sater, Chancellor's Professor of Materials Science and Engineering, Department of Materials Science and Engineering, University of California, Berkeley, for the development of practical computational materials design and its application to the improvement of energy storage technology. Sean Lee Chen, Independent Consultant, for pioneering work in optical sensing and precision laser processing and for leadership in globalization, industrial research and development. Diane Chong, Vice President, Materials Manufacturing Structure and Support, retired, Boeing Research and Technology, for advances in process and production technologies for composites in large commercial aerospace vehicles. Joe H. Chow, Institute Professor, Electrical, Computer, and Systems Engineering, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, for technical contributions to the modeling, analysis, and control of large-scale power systems. Jengshan Kong, Distinguished Chancellor's Professor and Director, Computer Science Department, University of California, Los Angeles, for pioneering contributions to the application-specific programmable logic via innovations in field programmable gate array synthesis. James H. Crocker, Vice President International, retired, Lockheed Martin Space Systems Company, for technical leadership and engineering contributions in astrophysics and planetary exploration. Mark D. Dankberg, Chairman and CEO, Viasat Incorporated, for contributions to broadband internet communications via satellite. Mark S. Daskin, Clyde W. Johnson Collegiate Professor and Department Chair, Industrial and Operations Engineering, University of Michigan, for leadership and creative contributions to location optimization and its application to industrial, service, and medical systems. Whitfield Diffie, Independent Consultant, for the invention of public key cryptography for broader contributions to privacy. Birol Dindaruk, Principal Technical Expert of Reservoir Engineering, Projects Technology and Innovation, Shell International E&P Inc., for significant theoretical and practical contributions to enhance oil recovery and CO2 sequestration. Ali H. Doru, Fellow and Chief Technologist, Computational Modeling Technology, EXPEC Advanced Research Center, Saudi Arabian Oil Company, for the development of high-performance computing and hydrocarbon reservoir simulation. Eric H. Ducharme, General Manager, Advanced Technology Engineering Department, General Electric Aviation, for advancing the state-of-the-art in composite fan technology and developing industry-leading aircraft engine technologies. Dara Intakabi, Professor, Parson Laboratory, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, for leadership in the hydrologic sciences, including the scientific underpinnings for satellite observation of the Earth's water cycle. Rodney C. Ewing, Frank Stanton Professor in Nuclear Security and Senior Fellow at the Freeman Spogli Institute for International Studies, Department of Geological Sciences, Stanford University, for studies on the long-term behavior of complex ceramic materials to assess their suitability for engineered nuclear waste sequestration. Jay Geary, Director of Power Systems Technology, GE Grid Solutions, for contributions to utility control center technologies to enhance grid situational awareness and reliability. Andrea Goldsmith, Stephen Harris Professor of Engineering, Department of Electrical Engineering, Stanford University, for contributions to adaptive and multi-antenna wireless communications. George Rusty T. Gray III, Fellow, Los Alamos National Laboratory, for contributions to the understanding of the dynamic and shock loading deformation and damage responsive materials. Leonidas J. Gabas, Professor, Computer Science Department, Stanford University, for contributions to data structures, algorithm analysis, and computational geometry. Zelda Gonsal, General Manager, Global Lubricants Supply Chain, Shell Global Commercial Business, Shell Technology Center, Houston, Royal Dutch Shell, PLC, for leadership in developing and manufacturing advanced fuels and lubricants to meet growing global energy demand while reducing CO2 emissions. Paula T. Hammond, David H. Koch, Professor of Engineering, Department Head, Department of Chemical Engineering, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, for contributions to self-assembly of polyelectrolytes, colloids, and block copolymers as surfaces and interfaces for energy and healthcare applications. Daniel E. Hastings, Cecil and Ida Green Education Professor of Aeronautics and Astronautics, Department of Aeronautics and Astronautics, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, for contributions in spacecraft and space systems environment interactions, space system architecture, and leadership in aerospace research and education. Julia Hirschberg, Percy K. and Vida L.W. Hudson Professor of Computer Science, Department of Computer Science, Columbia University, for contributions to the use of prosody in text-to-speech and spoken dialogue systems into audio browsing and retrieval. William T. Holmes, Senior Consultant, Rutherford and Chekene, Consulting Structural Engineers, for excellence in structural design and leadership in improving the seismic safety of buildings. Jennifer R. Holmgren, Chief Executive Officer, Lanzatech, for developing technologies to improve our energy future from renewable energy and chemicals to combinatorial chemistry and materials discovery. Kathleen C. Howell, Hullo Distinguished Professor of Aeronautics and Astronautics, School of Aeronautics and Astronautics, Purdue University, for contributions in dynamical systems theory and invariant manifolds culminating in optimal interplanetary trajectories and the interplanetary superhighway. Yonggang Wang, Walter R. Murphy, Professor of Engineering, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Civil and Environmental Engineering, and Material Science Engineering, Northwestern University, for pioneering work on mechanics of stretchable electronics and mechanically guided deterministic 3D assembly. Mir A. Imran, Chairman and CEO, InCube Labs, LLC, for his role in creating the first implantable cardiac defibrillator and for the development of multiple and other technologies as inventor and entrepreneur. She's what? Dimitris Katasoulis, Research Fellow, Research and Development, the Dow Chemical Company, for foundational contributions to the characterization and creation of novel silicone resins, gels, and elastomers, and catalysts for organosilanes. Jan A. Lequeux, Director, Facebook AI Research, Facebook, for developing convolutional neural networks and their application in computer vision and other areas of artificial intelligence. Ruby Luing, Laboratory Fellow, Department of Energy, Atmospheric Sciences, and Global Change Division, Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, for leadership in regional and global computer modeling of the Earth's climate and hydrological processes. Jennifer A. Lewis, Hans-Jörg Weiss Professor of Biologically Inspired Engineering, School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, Harvard University, for development of materials and processes for three-dimensional direct fabrication of multifunctional structures. George T. Ligler, Proprietor, GTL Associates, for leadership and engineering innovation in specifying and implementing complex computer-based systems for aviation and the U.S. Census. Stephen B. Lipner, Executive Director, SafeCode, for developing and deploying practical methods for engineering secure software and computer systems. Sujay Liu, Professor, Electrical Engineering and Computer Science Department, University of California, Berkeley, for contributions to the thin field effect transistor and its application to nanometer complementary metal oxide semiconductor technology. Robert W. McCabe, Program Director, Engineering Directorate, CBET Division, National Science Foundation, for enabling ultra-clean vehicles through conceptual and practical advances in catalytic systems for the abatement of automotive emissions. Piat Moncars, Principal Engineer, Development Civil Engineering, Exponent Failure Analysis Associates, for dedication to global improvement of the safety and reliability of engineering systems and to cooperation beyond political borders. Go ahead. This way, sir. Okay, I got it. I see it. John R. Monet, Research Professor, Chemical Engineering, University of South Carolina, for the discovery and development of the silver-catalyzed epoxidation of non-allylic olefins to produce 3,4-epoxy-1-butane and other non-allylic olefin epoxy. I'm a metallurgist, man. Omkaram Nalamasu, Senior Vice President and Chief Technology Officer, Applied Materials, Inc., for technical innovation spanning materials development, atomically controlled thin film fabrication, and commercialization in microelectronics and energy generation and storage. Jagdish Narayan, John C. Fan Family Foundation Distinguished Chair Professor, Material Science and Engineering, North Carolina State University, for contributions in heteroepitaxial film growth by laser ablation in large misfit systems and new materials. Arkady Nemirovsky, John Hunter Chair and Professor, School of Industrial and Systems Engineering, Georgia Institute of Technology, for the development of efficient algorithms for large-scale convex optimization problems. Deb A. Niemeyer, Professor, Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, University of California, Davis, for developing groundbreaking tools to characterize the impact of transportation emissions on air quality and environmental justice. Saurabh Pandey, Principal Engineer, GSI Environmental, Inc., for the development of computer codes for solving complex groundwater problems. Mark B. Parlange, Provost and Senior Vice President, Monash University, for fundamental contributions to land atmosphere modeling and leadership in field measurement campaigns over complex terrain. Randall W. Poston, Senior Principal, Pivot Engineers, for development of diagnostic and repair technologies for concrete structures and leadership in concrete building code development. Behzad Rozaveh, Chancellor's Professor, University of California, Los Angeles, for contributions to low-power broadband communication circuits. John C. Schaefer, Senior Engineering Manager, Materials and Process Engineering, GE Power, for contributions to the development and implementation of advanced materials in industrial gas turbine engines. Daniel J. Cherise, A. Richard Seabass Endowed Chair Professor, Ann and H. J. Smead Department of Aerospace Engineering Sciences, University of Colorado Boulder, for pioneering work on the motion of bodies in strongly perturbed environments such as near asteroids and comets. Darrell G. Schlom, Herb Fisk Johnson Professor of Industrial Engineering, Material Science and Engineering, Cornell University, for molecular beam epitaxy materials by design of complex oxides impacting the integration of high dielectric oxides in semiconductor devices. Dominic M. Servideo, Executive Chairman, STV Group, for leadership and effective advocacy on behalf of the engineering and construction professions. Sarah Slaughter, CEO and President, Built Environment Coalition, for research and the development of technology to enhance the resiliency and sustainability of critical infrastructure systems. Alexander H. Slocum, Professor, Mechanical Engineering, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, for contributions to precision machine design and manufacturing across multiple industries and leadership in engineering education. Megan J. Smith, third United States Chief Technology Officer, founder, Shift 7, for leading technological innovation teams and efforts to increase diversity and inclusion in STEM industries, both nationally and globally. Darlene J. Solomon, Chief Technology Officer and Senior Vice President, Agilent Technologies, for leadership in the development of innovative nucleic acid and microfluidic products for the life science and molecular diagnostic industries. Philippe Spallart, Senior Technical Fellow, Flight Sciences, Boeing Commercial Airplanes, for development and application of a broad array of computational techniques for the prediction of aerodynamic turbulence and noise. Michael S. Strano, Carbon P. Dubs Professor of Chemical Engineering, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, for contributions to nanotechnology, including fluorescent sensors for human health and solar and thermal energy devices. Sridhar Tyre, Distinguished Ford Research Chair and Professor of Operations Management, Tepper School of Business, Carnegie Mellon University, for developing and commercializing innovative methods to optimize supply chain systems. Paul J. Turinsky, Professor, Department of Nuclear Engineering, North Carolina State University, for the development of simulation technology for the economic operation, safety, and life extension of nuclear power stations. Ronaldo A. Valenzuela, Director, Wireless Communications Research, Nokia Bell Labs, for leadership and development of multi-antenna wireless communication systems and channel modeling. David M. Van Wee, Mission Area Executive, Force Projection Sector, Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory, for contributions to hypersonic technology enabling new classes of flight vehicles. George Varghese, Chancellor's Professor, Computer Science Department, University of California, Los Angeles, for network algorithmics that make the internet faster, more secure, and more reliable. Suzanne M. Votrino, President, Kilovolt Consulting, Inc., for leading the creation of a revolutionary organization designed to provide the nation an enhanced cyber capability. Barry Voigt, Professor Emeritus of Geology and Geological Engineering, Pennsylvania State University, for contributions to the understanding, management, and mitigation of geologic hazards. Charles K. Westbrook, Senior Scientist, retired, Lawrence Livermore, National Laboratory, for pioneering development, applications, and leadership in chemical kinetic modeling to advance combustion science and technology. Blake S. Wilson, co-director of the Duke Hearing Center and adjunct professor, Duke University and the Duke University Medical Center, for engineering development of the cochlear implant that bestows hearing to individuals with profound deafness. Peter J. Windsor, Director, Optical Transmission Subsystems Research, Nokia Bell Labs, for contributions to high-speed coherent optical communication systems. Martin L. Yarmish, Paul and Mary Monroe Chair and Distinguished Professor of Biomedical Engineering, Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey, for pioneering advances in cellular, tissue, and organ engineering, and for the leadership in applying metabolic engineering to human health. Dong Chiao Jiang, Dean of Engineering and National Chair Professor, College of Engineering, Peking University, for pioneering work in the stochastic modeling of flow and porous media. Now to the class of 2017 induction ceremony for foreign members. So if I might have Ruth come to the stage. Okay, first, Sergio M. Alcocer, Research Professor, Institute of Engineering, National Autonomous University of Mexico, for improvements to the seismic safety of buildings in developing countries through improved design standards and government policies. Yasuhiko Arakawa, Professor, Institute of Industrial Science, University of Tokyo, for contributions to quantum dot lasers and related nanophotonic devices. Chiko Asakawa, IBM Fellow, IBM Research, International Business Machines Corporation, for developing technologies for the visually impaired to access digital information. Bernard Charlize, Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Dassault Systems, for leadership in providing major software tools for simulation-based engineering. F. Stuart Foster, Canada Research Chair, Tier 1 and Professor, Sunnybrook Research Institute, University of Toronto, for pioneering the field of high-frequency ultrasound and translating its technologies into clinical and preclinical imaging systems. Martin Fusenegger, Professor of Biotechnology and Bioengineering, Department of Biosystems Science and Engineering, ETH Zurich, for contributions to synthetic biology and engineered therapeutic gene networks. Georges Hazadize Inawu, University Professor, Classe Exceptionnelle, Laboratory de Chemical Polymers Organics, University de Bordeaux, for fundamental discoveries and insights enabling the development of polymers with advanced functionality and performance. Horst W. Hahn, Executive Director, Institute of Nanotechnology, Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, for contributions to the science and engineering of nanostructured materials with tailored and tunable properties. Kazunori Kataoka, Director General, Innovation Center of Nanomedicine and Professor, University of Tokyo, Kawasaki Institute of Industrial Promotion, for pioneering contributions to the design of supramolecular nanostructures and their application to drug and gene delivery systems. Noboru Kikuchi, President, Tokyo Central R&D Labs, Inc., for contributions to theory and methods of computer-aided engineering and leadership in the applications of the automotive industry worldwide. Rainer Kirchheim, Distinguished Professor of the State of Lower Saxony, Germany, Institute for Metallphysik, Universität Göttingen, for contributions to the thermodynamics and kinetics of hydrogen behavior in metals and solute defect interactions in other materials. Johannes Lischer, Chair, Technical Chemistry, Department of Chemistry, Technical University, Munich, for developing concepts and catalysts for activating and functionalizing hydrocarbons and for upgrading fossil and biogenic feedstocks via heteroatom removal. Detlef Loos, Chair of Physics of Fluids, Department of Science and Technology, University of Twente, for contributions to fundamental fluid mechanical processes, especially turbulence and Rayleigh-Bénard and Taylor-Cooled flow, sonoluminescence, drops, and surface nanobubbles. Stefan Mola, Professor, École Normale Supérieure, for contributions to the fast wavelet transform and multi-resolution signal processing. Cyril T. O'Connor, Professor Emeritus and Senior Research Scholar, Chemical Engineering, University of Cape Town, for contributions to the sustainable recovery of minerals from complex ores and for the global advancement of mineral processing technology. Henry Shum, Executive Vice President, Technology and Research, Microsoft Corporation, for contributions to computer vision and computer graphics and for leadership in industrial research and product development. Colin Smith, Group President, Rolls-Royce PLC, for leadership in design, technologies, and manufacturing processes that enhance airworthiness, safety, and environmental sustainability of large aero engines. Konstantinos Viaionas, Professor of Chemical Engineering, University of Patras, for fundamental studies on electrochemical modification of catalytic activity leading to the industrial design and use of new promoted catalysts. Dennis A. Woodford, President, the Electronics Corporation, for developing analytical methods related to high-voltage DC transmission and high-power DC-DC transformation systems. The 2017 class of the National Academy of Engineering.